There we go.
There we go. Hello, everyone. It's Jimmy Udat. Welcome to the interview. So now I'm so happy to have a really artist that I really like, that I really look up to. So welcome for my girl from Australia, Caetlyn Watson. How are you, Caetlyn?
I'm excited. I'm good. Yes. Busy, really but good.
Yeah, busy. I know you're really busy, so thank you really to give us opportunity to do an interview with you.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So how are you? What are you doing now? Where are you in the world?
I'm in Melbourne, in Australia. I'm actually here working on a film, which is really exciting. This is my own kind of film that I'm working with and collaborating on with some of my favorite artistic friends. So it's really epic at the moment. We're excited. It's an exciting space right now.
Yeah. I know we're gonna talk about it like further because I really want to talk about your movie and this experience. But I think like we have to start from the beginning. So let's start from the beginning. So I saw that you start dancing at the age of 6.
Yeah, I've been dancing a long time.
So tell me how it's coming. What's so early? How?
Well, I started as like a dance school kid. So I started with ballet and jazz, very much in the dance school, dance studio realm, which was interesting. I did that from like 6 until I was like 17. I was in that space.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think looking back on that now, I'm really grateful for for having that kind of discipline and structure in my dance. But I got to a point within myself where I just found it really restrictive. And so then I kind of started delving more. I think I kind of like was introduced to the choreography realm, I'll call it that, when I was like young, still 11, but I was still very much in studio land. So transitioning out of that was really freeing for me in dance and exploring freestyle and more hip hop and more street styles. Yeah, super freeing for me in my dance. So yeah.
Yeah, but at the age of 6, it was like you choose to be a dancer, or did your parents like put you in a classic ballet classes? Do you remember like the first time you start dancing?
I think it was a bit of both. I remember seeing like Missy Elliott video clips, and there was that little girl, Alison Stone, in the I think that's her name, in the clip, and I remember seeing that and just being like, I want to do that. So not necessarily hip hop I went into, but went into ballet, and then I was just obsessed. I didn't want to do anything else. So yeah, and my parents are amazing. They were so supportive of that from the beginning. They were like, go. So yeah.
So yeah, and you grew up in Melbourne, or you grew up in another city in Australia?
I was born in Melbourne, so I did like up to the age of 11. I was in Victoria, and then we moved further up north. And I think once we reached more up north, that's when I was exposed to more choreography. We had a lot of actually, I was so lucky the timing of everything, because there were so many big world tours happening. Like Justin Timberlake was out here, and like all these different artists, and along with them came really epic teachers and dancers. So from super young, I was able to learn from such epic people. So I think the timing of that move was really, really big for me in dance. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so curious about like how is the scene in Australia like moving, because for us it's so far away.
So we're so far. We're at the bottom of the world. Yeah, it's too far.
Yeah,
honestly,
too far for us. Yeah. So how it is like there is like so many dancers. Like when you start to do choreography, there is a lot of dancers come with you, like with the same generation, or you was like a bit alone and looking for like people from other country that come to give a class. How it is for you, like when you was young?
When I was younger, I think there was it's all that I knew. So at the time I found it really inspiring. And I think just that time in general of training and being in class was very different now, because social media wasn't really a thing. So the training environment felt Yeah, I found it really inspiring. And because we had these injections of like people from overseas, I think it built a lot of momentum in our community, but then that kind of stopped. And so I feel like as a community, it kind of plateaued a little bit, like the elevation or like just the hunger to train. But now I feel like, especially being back at the moment, I really feel this like really big surge of hunger for everyone. Everyone's really, they just want it. They want to train. So there's a really nice like excitement in the dance community at the moment. So it feels nice. But back then it was just a different time. I think for every place in the world, it was a different time, like, you know, that long ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And how it was like the feeling that when you feel that you want to become a professional dancer, it's come like naturally, like from 6 years old, you say, this is going to be all my life, or it's coming like a little bit after, like when you get more confident, how it is like this transition? Because we...
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was like, I don't know if it was like a choice, you know. I don't know if it was like a conscious thing, like I don't know if it was a goal. I think it was just, dance was just something that I was so in love with, and the natural progression of that, I think, was just really organic. It wasn't forced. It wasn't like I want to be in this space or this pace. I just kind of found myself linking with epic people or being in these areas and getting these epic opportunities. And it just kind of progressed naturally. It wasn't something that I planned necessarily, but I always just was so in love with it. I remember people telling me like to have a plan B or like a backup, and I just didn't want anything else. This is all I wanted. Yeah. I think maybe because it was my main focus and priority, like that just drove me here, I guess.
Yeah, of course. And sometimes like every time it was the same for me. Like when people say, "Do you have a plan B?" I say, "No, my plan B is to be an amateur dancer." Yeah. I'm gonna be a dancer anyway.
Still dance, so, yeah. Just always dance. Still dance. Yeah. I hear you. Yeah. I mean, I think that's like a nice way to be, because you're 100% invested in your passion. Like, I don't know if there's a way for it to fail in that way, or even if it isn't dance, it'll lead you in the right kind of direction. Either way, you're invested fully in that, you know, that energy. So I think it's a nice way to be.
Exactly. And, you know, I was looking for all your video on YouTube. So I watched your first video on YouTube.
Oh, no.
No, but it's okay. It's a journey. Yeah, come on. Come on, Caetlyn. It's okay. It was nice. Yeah. Actually, it was nice. So how was like when you start to push to use social media? Because I think like for people like from Australia, like I can imagine like you want to like push like the limit further, and to like internet, it was really a good way to go further and to show your art with the different people. So how was like you when you start to post on YouTube and like to share your art? Do you remember the video first?
I don't remember the first one. Which one are you talking about?
I thought, wait, because I saw so many videos. So let's see.
There's quite a few on there. Yeah. Gosh. So
yeah, but do you remember like you feeling like to post video on YouTube actually?
I remember. I think it was more just like this. I just was excited to share. To share what I do. It wasn't necessarily with any like kind of like ulterior
expectation
or intention. Yeah, I was just excited to share. And I was also so inspired by like what I was seeing on YouTube. And so to be able to add to that space, I think was just exciting. To see my work, you know, on that platform was exciting, but it wasn't to get anywhere. I was just happy to be able to share it, you know. And then I had such a beautiful response. So I think like the response to my work or what I did share made me want to continue to, you know, add. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And after you start to travel also, to go like overseas, like to discover the world. So I saw like, so many travel. How was like the first one? Do you remember the first country, like the first experience? How it was for
Yeah.
you?
Well, I was kind of flying myself over to LA every year since I was like 15. So I would go over there and train my ass off. And then I remember there was this one time I was there during the summer, which used to be, I mean, I'm not really sure if it still is kind of like this there, but the summertime in LA was like everyone, so many people from all over the world would migrate and like train. And it was so epic. You'd meet people from every single country in the world. And I think the timing of me being there at that point was like, it was just perfect timing. And I got offered like a slot at this studio to teach. And then because there were so many people from all over the world, I then got talking to like studio owners or like event organizers. And then they wanted to bring me out to Europe. And then from there, it kind of started just building slowly. It was like smaller studio classes. And then it turned into more camps and stuff. But the first place I was ever flown internationally was Mexico. And
Wow.
yeah, it was such an epic experience, like for so many reasons. Like I feel like the community there is so rich, like the culture there is so rich. So being there was just super inspiring. And then from there it just kind of like took off. And I've been traveling ever since. My first travel international travel was I was 19. So
wow.
So it's been 11 years of this now, which is epic.
I didn't ask you your age. I didn't ask you.
I'm 30. I'm proud to be 30. Yeah. So like, yeah. So proud to be 30. But yeah, it's really cool to be able to do this for this long. It's nice.
Yeah. So 19, your first travel, like it was in Mexico.
Yeah. So epic.
Yeah.
I'm so lucky.
So epic. Yeah. Like, so how did you felt like when you discover another, like me, I remember like the first time I met people like my dance, like, and really like get into it. It was very special because even if we dance like for so many years, sometimes when people like have a kind of reaction, it's really hard to handle it. So how it was for you, like when people say, "Yeah, you're amazing, you're amazing, you're amazing," how you deal with that since the beginning at 19 years old?
Oh, back then it was. Back then, I think I was in a very different space within myself. I think when I was 19, I definitely still, even though I was getting these really epic opportunities to share overseas, I was still very much like unsure of what exactly it was that I was offering, or I wasn't super certain in like what I wanted to, or how I wanted to show up in that kind of a space. So I think back then it was, I don't know if I really took it on board because I didn't believe it myself, you know? Yeah, it's been a journey with that, honestly, but now it's really touching to receive, praise like that, or just feedback about your expression, that it reaches people and that's so moving. So I'm, always grateful to have that, sent to me.
Yeah. And after you did so many things, and also you dance really involved, like the way you dance. Yeah. I feel like more you grow up, more you connect with yourself. And I feel like in your dance, like it's very like personal. I feel that way.
Yeah, definitely. So, I actually just had this conversation with someone today about like just my dance, and more so like I guess like you could call my freestyle practice. It does feel very like personal and private in a way. So being able to share that is meaningful, and it doesn't always feel like as natural as I would like it because it's such a internal practice for me, I guess. But yeah, thanks for noticing that.
Yeah, but how it was a transition for you also, because I think like for me, the way you take is not the easy way, because everybody tried to be really impressive and do a lot of movement and very dynamic, and you choose a way like to be really organic and to be really close to yourself. So how it was this transition, how it was for you to connect with yourself, but also show it?
I mean, again, it's been a journey. I think for one, I've been surrounded myself with people that are encouraging of me and my expression and just me being my authentic self, and have offered me a really safe space to explore that. I think that's so important, to have community around you that want to elevate you and like want to see you win. So I've had such a nice community around me for such a long time. And so I think that's given me a nice foundation to build that confidence. But I think aside from dance, I've done a lot of like just personal work, lots of, I guess, like emotional, spiritual work that I think has also added to that foundation of me feeling safe enough to share that. So I guess it's quite deep. And I think though it's so important, if you're going to be in this teaching, sharing space, to do that work so that what you're offering is honest and just an authentic expression, and you're not just kind of taking and copying and pasting what you're seeing already. I think that's what helps the dance world evolve. So it's been, again, it's not been like a planned process. It's just organically kind of like happened that way. But that's kind of that.
Yeah. And also like you there is some words that you say many times, is like safe and community. Like people around you. Can we say some names? Because I think like in your journeys they are really important. Can you say some names, like shout out those people, like help you to feel safe?
Totally. Well, for one, Kerry Milne, she's from Dublin, and she, if you don't know Kerry, go and look Kerry up. She's a huge pillar of the community, in my opinion, and she's offered me, such a beautiful and supportive space to just grow. So always grateful for her. Someone that also helped me feel comfortable exploring more freestyle was Shay. I remember when I first kind of started hanging out with Shay, we would have these like really small sessions, but I remember him just telling me something along the lines of like, you can't do anything wrong in freestyle, it's free. So I think once I got out of my head in that sense, like it opened up a whole new door for me. And hearing his perspective on dance and just watching him, the way he connects with movement and music, was really, really inspiring to me. And he, again, was like a really supportive person around me at that time. I could list so many people. We'll be here all night. There's so many that have contributed, honestly.
But it's nice also to mention them, because I mean, like, I think to feel safe, like many people talk about free, like how to be free, like I want to be free, but to be safe, I think is help us to be free.
100%. I totally agree with that. Yeah. Because there's definitely a sense of like vulnerability that comes with that space. So I think that safety is important to let go.
Yeah, and also to get the foundation, like to be able to be free, and also to not be afraid to not be accepted. Yeah, there is something that I really like what you say. There is this sentence, and we're going to talk a little bit about it, is like, to live a creative life, we must lose our fear to being wrong.
I love that quote so much. That stuck with, the first time I heard it, it stuck with me for a lot. It's been with me for a long time. Yeah.
Yes. So now you're not afraid to be wrong. So can you, what does it mean, like this sentence to you, like to have a creative life? Like, let's start from the beginning, to live a creative life. That was like something you look up to have a creative life, or something like it's organic that you can say, oh, my life is creative actually. So how it was for you?
I mean, I think everyone is a creative. I think it's a choice to tap into that, or delve in as much as you want. I think though, naturally I don't think it was a choice. I think it's just part of me. It's also been like, in my family, I have like, musicians in my family. It's kind of like it feels like it's in my blood almost, to be in a creative space. My mom's super creative. So I was always, influenced and, exposed to creative people and creative environments. So I think it was kind of inevitable that I would maybe step into this kind of realm. But everyone's creative. I guess it's just how much you choose to be in that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. Like everyone is creative, but to have the confidence and also like to feel free to create and to show it is to become vulnerable. And I think in our society now, it's really hard to be like this. And like the next sentence is like, we must lose our fear. Like, did you feel like, did you feel like, do you have a fear to do some stuff during your journey, or it was always smooth?
No, absolutely not. I used to, especially I think when I was, because of the dance space that I grew up in, it's, there is a right and wrong, you know, in like ballet, for example, it's so structured. There's one way to do it. That's it. So there is definitely a way to do that wrong. And I think that conditioning, it took me a long time to pull myself out of it and allow myself to utilize all the tools that I've cultivated and then build from that without needing to stay to one kind of box or like genre. But I definitely used to have a huge amount of doubt in like my capabilities or like what I was producing or like expressing. It took me a long time to get out of that. But again, community helped me move through that for sure. And just like choosing which environments to place myself in, ones that kind of like, you know, allowed me to feel safe and to grow and to do whatever the fuck I wanted.
Yeah, definitely. And also, when the last sentence, of course, this is like the most, I think, important, is of being wrong. So being wrong, I think like for you, like to give a lot of class and everything, people looking for solution to be right. Can you explain the process to accept of being wrong or to being right? What is how do you feel like about this obsession of nowadays to being right?
Well, I first of all think it's very limiting to it's like there's only one way to be right, is one thing. You know, it's kind of like, I think it's important, especially as a creative, to be open to risk, and that risk involving like people might not like what you do, but staying true to what feels good and like what lights you up. I think that's more important than worrying about right, wrong, perfection, what people think. I think so long as it's like authentic and you believe what you're doing, it's going to resonate with someone. There's always going to be people that don't like what you do though. And I think there's an acceptance in that also. You know, not everyone's going to fuck what you're producing.
Of course. And that's nice. And also like, if you are honest, of course, nobody going to like you.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Totally.
How do you feel about that sentence, that quote?
Me?
Yeah.
That quote?
Yeah.
I love it. I will tell you a secret. Like when I saw this sentence, I was like, oh my God. Because me, I do. No, really. I'm gonna explain you why. Because I'm doing like a freestyle dancer.
Uh-huh.
And every time I say like freestyle is to play with mistake.
Very true. Yeah.
Is to play with mistake, because it's like to live the moment is not about to be wrong or to be right. Is to literally the moment. And if you live the moment, the thing what you're gonna do is not gonna be perfect, because we're not. And more we live the moment truly, more the freestyle gonna look like good for other people. I think it's more about sensation that really like movement.
Definitely
what is really hard for me is like, when I explain this, people say, yeah, you like this because you won so many battles. But it's not about that. It's really like, for me, it's like, if you're looking for the process, you're going to win so much, but it's going to come after, like you say, like I say, like organically. Because win is the result of something, is not the main point. And sometimes I think like people looking for directly the result and not the journey. So for me, this sentence resonates so much on me because like, for me, I don't think like I'm a perfect dancer, but the fact that I play with my mistake make people like feel like I'm good with myself and they like my dance. But if you take the movement, the picture, maybe it's not looking good or right for many people. But the fact that I'm honest with myself and I do everything, like I think that's my way to really express myself. Because for me, expression, like express myself, I choose dance to express myself.
Yeah.
So now I try to replicate like other things because I think like there is a part of me like want to say something and I don't find a way in the world to do it. And dance is really my way to do it.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, that's nice. I think it's I think that space too is like, it makes your dance, for me, when it's imperfect or like raw, it's more relatable, I think. And people notice and recognize that it's, it's a vulnerable space. You're just letting it, whatever happen. And I think people connect with that more than like things being super structured and like lacking freedom.
Exactly. And what is the difference between a human and a robot?
Exactly.
It's not fail.
True. Yeah, true. Yeah, true. Very true.
So, yeah. So this way I feel like, and now I have a question also for you that I don't know if you did before, because in choreography people do a lot, but did you work with artists, like choreograph some artists and some video clip and stuff like this?
I've worked with a couple. My favorite experience was with Janet Jackson.
Yeah, I saw it.
Really, really epic. Yeah, such a nice experience. I feel lucky that I got to work for an artist like her. She's so kind and humble, and I've heard so many crazy horror stories of like people working with artists, and it's just been a horrible experience. So I'm lucky that I got to work with someone that's like a legend, and she's in the position to be an absolute asshole. Do you know what I mean? Like she's one of the biggest fucking artists in the world, but she was so sweet and so humble and so kind. So yeah, it was a really, really nice experience.
Can you talk about like how it happened and what you have to do and for what also? Like, can you explain a little bit like more detail about this experience?
Of course. Well, originally there was a challenge that was released online, the Dance with Janet challenge, and people would just like upload videos of them dancing and hopefully win an opportunity to dance with her on stage. And I remember it was like the last day for the submission, and I was like, oh, I'll just like have a freestyle outside. And it was very chill. Like I wasn't really serious about it. And I remember a couple of days later, Gil, her creative director and longtime choreographer, he liked my video and he started following me, and I was like, I fucking won. Like I won. and then a few days later, they released the winners, and I was like, okay, whatever, I didn't win. And then I got a message from him, and I'd never met him before, so it was really, I was terrified, honestly. And he messaged me and wanted to have a call, and we jumped on the phone, and he asked me to choreograph 2 numbers for her Vegas residency, Metamorphosis. And he wanted me to do the song that I freestyled to, which was Got Till It's Gone, which is one of my favorite Janet songs in the whole world. Which is nuts. So yeah, so
a song.
No, I know, it's iconic. Like it's amazing. So I was really excited about that. Also because I had danced to it so many times, so it was in my body, like the music, and so I had to go and workshop that, send that off to be approved, and then the second song that I was going to do, they ended up cutting. And so he asked me to do That's the Way It Goes. And that song for me is so big. Like it's such a big song. So initially I was like so in my head about it, because I'm like, this has to be the best thing I've ever made, like for one of the best songs in the world. And I remember I sent off my workshop video, and he sent it back to me, and he was like, do exactly what you do. Like, do it again.
Yeah.
We want you to do exactly what you do, which was really affirming, I think, because I was so in my head about needing to create something specifically for her. And he was like, we just want you to do everything that you do, which was so nice. So I stripped it all back and sent it off again. And they approved that one. So, yeah, I was flown over there. I literally had 1 8-hour rehearsal with the dancers to set everything. So that was a massive day, but so amazing. Like the dancers, a lot of them are my friends already, and so I felt really comfy in the space with them. So, yeah, it was really beautiful. And then she came up to me afterwards and thanked me and gave me this big hug, and it was so nice, such a nice experience.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was really epic. And then I got to go over and watch the show. Very emotional. So such a nice experience. Yeah, it was epic.
I can imagine this, like, in the song also.
I know, huge. It was huge. But
what you say?
Hey,
imagine like this. Yeah, just post a video after a follower. You say, I already won.
I know. It was nuts. So wild. So it was surreal. Yeah, so surreal.
So now I want to talk about your style, like really about your style, because when I see you dance, what I love is organically what are you doing and stuff like this. And for me, what you're doing is hip hop, but I know like you start with ballet, contemporary, and stuff like this. So how do you? I hate this question, but I'm sure like people want to know like how you can describe your dance. I know this sounds sometimes stupid, but how do you can describe yourself? How do you feel when you're watching you dance?
Yikes.
I'm sorry.
It's such a hard thing, I think, because it's like, it's just me. It's just the way that I interpret music specifically. And there's so many elements, I think, or like influences that I've kind of like absorbed during the journey. So it's this like big melting pot of just like everything, I guess. I don't feel like it fits into a box, which I really love. Yeah, I don't know. It's such a hard question. I remember one time actually I was teaching at a camp and Brian Green was there and he asked me the same question. And this was like, how old was I? I think I was early 20s. So I still wasn't in my shit yet. You know, I was terrified. And he was like, so how would you describe your dance? And I was like, I don't know. So then he watched my class and he was like, it's interpretive. And I was like, oh, okay, that's a nice way to kind of describe it, because it doesn't really feel like it's one genre, especially with the kind of music that I like to dance to, because a lot of it's quite experimental and alternative. So interpretive feels like a nice kind of way to describe it, I guess.
Yeah. And so many people like inspired by you. Like everybody. No, but
that's
so
sweet.
Nice.
It's really sweet. Yeah. It is really nice.
So it's really nice. Like people like really inspired by you. Like so many people, when I talk about choreography, they say like you change the game because you show you another way to dance.
Oh, that's really nice. Wow.
And hey, it's true. Like how do you feel when you see like when you hear such a thing like this, like you inspire people? Like because I think like your leitmotiv is to be unique. And I feel like you really connect with that. And the fact that people are really inspired by you, how do you feel about that? Like, this is like, how do you feel about the fact that you inspire so many people, or people tell you that you inspire?
Oh, it's such a nice feeling to know that that what I have kind of discovered within myself is impacting people. Like it's such a nice thing to know. I think there's like I don't know if this is naturally where the conversation's going from here, but I think there's a fine line when it comes to inspiration. And so there's definitely been moments where, how how do I say this? Words. Where I've maybe felt like a little triggered, or like I need to. There's definitely been moments where I'm like, fuck, I have to reinvent myself because like because I see maybe interpretations of what I do. But generally, it's really, really nice to know that, just my expression is kind of helping people or inspiring people or motivating people to take risk or try something different. Of course, it's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, but the copy is also really triggering. Like when you see many people do, I know it's hard to talk about it because, of course, like a singer told me one day, like what is really hard when we create is the fact that we share is not to us anymore. Like everybody can do whatever they want. So, and sometimes what they're doing is not like what really want is becoming. So how do you deal with that? Like people like copying you, like you say, like I have to invite myself again, but I don't think is a way. But how do you deal with that?
I think I try to remind myself that ultimately, no matter it goes for anyone. Anyone's the same with this. It's like no one can do me like I can do me. So, people can copy and take as much as they want, but ultimately this is my story and my expression, and it's come from like not just dance. This is like my life experience that comes out in my movement, and no one can touch that really. So I try to remind myself that I don't actually feel triggered when I see people kind of using it as a way to explore or to like feel these sensations or like tap into this kind of expression. I do though feel uncomfortable when people are teaching rearranged steps that I've done and then like making money off my choreography that's just been kind of reshaped. That feels weird, and that's been something that I have had to kind of do work around and just like try to let go of as much as possible. So there's definitely moments like that where I feel frustrated because it's like I've done so much work on myself, and it just feels like in this kind of like climate, people so easily just take what they want without really any consideration. But ultimately, I just don't think that helps the evolution of dance in any way, just to copy and paste. It doesn't help anyone. So, that's kind of how I feel about that. It's definitely a journey. It comes in waves. Sometimes I'm really unfazed. I'm like, it's fine. I feel so strong in my practice, and what I'm sharing it feels like this is a new version or like a new kind of level to what I already do. So I feel like nice about that. But then sometimes I'm like, oh, this is really fucking irritating. Like, can you just go and do your own thing? You know what I mean? Exactly. But ultimately I have no control. So I try to not get stuck in that space.
Yeah. I'm totally agree with you. So now we'll talk about finally the project, Drenched.
Yes.
Let's talk about this. So, oh my God. So how it started. Can you talk about it? This is a comment from the theater or it's coming from you? Can you talk about the beginning of it?
The honest beginning? Can I be honest?
The honest beginning.
Okay.
Please be honest.
I was in Amsterdam and I had the craziest trip on mushrooms I've ever experienced. So this experience, really, because it was so big and like profound, I really just wanted to try to recreate the journey of that experience and of like, I guess like my combined mushroom experiences. They're always so big for me and so introspective and so beautiful and so many things. So the initial like idea was just to try to recreate this energy so that more people could experience it because it was so big. And so I had that kind of idea in my head, and then I was commissioned by a studio in Brisbane to create a stage show, like a full-length, hour-long stage show. So I decided to use this kind of concept or like experience to build that show around. And so originally it was a theater production, and we did the show once, and that was unbelievable. I had the best time, but when I finished that, it just didn't feel completed because we only got to perform once, and the show felt so powerful and so big for everyone. But then also like the responses from the audience were outrageous and like really moving. So a friend of mine, Doug, who works really closely with Kerry at Take Flight, and he's an unbelievable director from London. He was in the audience, and he kind of like dropped a little seed in there and said, if you ever want to turn this into something else, like it would be epic as a visual, and like I'd be fully on board. So we ended up having more conversations about turning it into a whole film. And the real kind of like confirmation of like doing this project, we had this meeting in November last year, and we were like, let's fucking do it. So it's only been a good, like, 5-6 months up to now to like plan all of this. And now we're here and we're finally doing it. We're shooting our first scene on the 4th, which is really epic. So it's huge. It's so big. Yeah, very soon. Like I start rehearsals tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So wait. We go a little bit too fast. How many dancers?
How many dancers?
How many then? Yeah, for the first the first show, like 1 hour long.
For the show, we had nine dancers, and then for the movie, we've kind of adapted the cast a little bit, and there's 8 of us, including me. So it's a nice, like, intimate kind of group. Yeah.
Wow, and like, don't spoil us, okay? But
I'm going to. Yeah.
I know. I don't want to have so much details about it because I want to push people to go to see it. Of course, I'm going to see it. So
okay, how... everyone to see it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. So how is, like, from a scene, like from a theater show, like to make an idea to do a movie? So how was the process for you to say, this? Like, because when Doug come to you and say, yeah, we can do in different form, you can say like, wow, like it can be a different way, but how you think directly as a movie?
I think because of this like psychedelic like element in the show, I think making it more of a visual, like there's so much we can do with a visual in that kind of realm, there's so many things we can play with. And just thinking of like the colors and the spaces and like the worlds that we could create, it just felt really exciting that it would enhance the dance and the vision of the show in general. So it just made a lot of sense for this kind of concept and this kind of energy. It made so much sense. I'm also like, I've never done film before. So I think the idea of doing something like this was really exciting because it's super foreign to me. And then working with him, he's just unbelievable. And the crew that we have together are next level. So, the idea of being in this new space was something that I was excited about too. So, yeah.
Yeah, and you do a crowdfunding also.
Did that, yes. But that was a really small portion of like, how much this is going to cost. It's a fucking mammoth project. It's the biggest thing I've ever worked on and been a part of creating. So, it's been a lot of work up to this point, like to get the finances in order so that we can be comfy with like building it the way we want to. And just, there's so many parts to it, but it's all worth it. It's for the art, it's exciting to be making this kind of a movie for dance and for Australia.
Exactly.
Like, for the Australian community too. I don't know of anything that exists like this, as a film and like for dance on film. So it's exciting to be producing this in the country and for the country too. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's only Australian dancer, right?
Only Australian dancers, yeah, and they're insane. They're unbelievable. So I'm excited for everyone to witness them, because a lot of them haven't really been overseas or haven't really been in other spaces, and they're outrageously talented. So yeah, it's going to be cool for them to have like a platform and for people to see them too.
Wow. Congratulations,
Yeah.
really, really
Thank
big
you so
support.
much.
Because you do it not only for you, but for the community, and also for all the dance community, and to show the opportunity for the Australian dancer to be seen by others. Like, this is really so dope. Like, really.
Yeah, thank you. I'm
so
excited
happy to do this interview. Yeah, me too. I'm excited to see it. I can't wait to see it, really.
Oh my God, I can't wait for it to be out. And I think because there's been a little, like, we've been posting little bits and pieces and like these little flyers and stuff. So I think there's a nice like excitement that's like kind of building around it too, which feels really nice. I feel supported in like creating this, so it feels cool.
Wow, congratulations. So just to finish, because I'm from France, and I saw you dance so many French music.
I love French music.
I asking myself why.
I mean, maybe for you it sounds normal and like just like regular music, but for me it's so poetic. Like, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Like, just the language is so nice, I love it.
Yeah, but how do you find it? Like, because you don't take like a really famous song. You take like kind of like undercover music. I said, this girl, she speaks French for real.
No, I definitely I'm a bit of like a music nerd. Like, I spend hours searching for music. Like, I go into deep pocket songs that maybe no one really listens to or has heard. Like, I pride myself on that because I find it interesting. I don't like dancing to what everyone else is dancing to, but some songs, the feeling about them, and the two French songs that I've specifically danced to, I just like fell in love with straight away. Like, and then I study the lyrics and I find out like, what they mean, and I love it so much. So
okay. So you can say some French words, right?
No.
Can you say French words? Come on. You can
Ça va? That's a word, no? Or what's that?
Yeah, that's a word.
Is that how are you?
Yeah, how are you? Like, how are you?
Yes. No, Capella's tried to teach me so many times, and it doesn't stick. It doesn't stick. But I love the language. It's so beautiful. Yeah.
So nice. So just to end up like this interview, we have a little game. Like, it's a little game. It's not like really serious. Like, it's just like the best. Like, I'll tell you something and you say what is the best for you now. It doesn't mean it's the best for you yesterday or tomorrow. It's just the best of you of today. Okay? So like this, don't get so much pressure about it.
The best what?
So for you, yeah, that's the question. The best what? So what is for you the best, your best choreography? For you, one stick of your mind.
The song's called Clade, and I just taught it in Japan. It's like filmed in this red light. That's my best one right now.
Ah, nice.
Yep.
So, and what is your best travel experience as a dancer?
Oh, that's hard.
Aha, hello.
That's really hard. I don't know if there's like one specific time, but I have a specific, like my favorite or my best favorite place that I like to teach and travel to. That would be at Take Flight in Dublin. Always my favorite and my best experience always.
In Dublin, nice. So dope.
Yes.
So, and what is one of your best inspiration as a dancer?
Shit. Martha. Never.
Martha.
Yes.
No, we have the same.
Really? She's my ultimate. She's perfect. She's just perfect.
She's a queen. She's my friend too. Oh, Martha. Oh my God.
Mhm.
It's unexpected. Oh, but unexpected in a good way. I mean,
There's many. I have many, but I just love how honest and natural her expression is. It's inspiring. Maybe my honest and natural is very different, but like, I think she's perfection. So beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree. And I think you match, like, about the energy you match.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
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 So, what is now your best artist? Like the artist that you like. It can be music, it can be movie, it can be anything.
Oh. Okay, the first person that comes into my head is he's an artist from Brisbane, actually, where I live. His name is Jordan Rakai. Unbelievable. If you haven't listened to him, do. He's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. Not necessarily like music that I would always choose to dance to, but just to enjoy and experience. He's crazy. Yeah.
But I know him. I know his music.
You do?
I don't know him personally. Yeah, I think I've been to his concert already. Yeah, I really like.
Him live, crazy. Live is an experience. Crazy. Yeah, super beautiful.
Yeah, I listened to him on SoundCloud, and now like all the album I know. Really, really good.
Well, he's Australian, so yeah.
Yeah, it's true. He's Australian. I didn't connect. It's true. So, other question. Now we're almost done. What is your best partner, or like people like we love to dance with?
Ooh, name's Hector, and he's from Spain. He's like 18, and he's this like tall alien freak, and the most interesting, unique dancer I've ever seen in my life. He's unbelievable. But when I dance next to him, he brings out something else in my movement, and I think it's like a mutual thing. He's unbelievable. So yeah, I'll say that.
Okay, so we finished the best. Thank you so much, Caetlyn.
Thank you.
Yeah,
such a conversation. Thank you.
Do you have something to say? Yeah, it was really interesting, like very honest and also like meaningful. So thank you so much for this. So do you have something to say just to finish the interview? Do you want to share with the dance community and the French audience?
Oh gosh, that always makes me nervous. I don't know. More so, aside from like dance community, I hope that we get to share the dance space sometime soon and get to session or hang out or whatever. I really hope that can happen soon. Hopefully when I'm in Europe this time around.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Caetlyn.
Thank you.
Thank you for this interview. Thank you so much for people watching. If you like, comment, like it. And we follow the Drenched movie, so we can't wait to see it. So thank you so much. If you want to share, if you have like, if you want to have other dancer, don't comment below, follow us, put a star. I don't like to do it, but if you like it, just support us. Thank you so much. Peace, people.
Thank you.